what's the difference between Mario and Luigi? This classic duo have been a part of the Smash series since the very beginning, and as the series evolved, so did the moveset of these plumbers. Some people like to say Luigi is a half clone. Well, just how true is that? That's what I'm here to find out. So let's get started, and like always, I'll be focusing primarily on the moveset itself and not so much hitboxes or frame data. But first, let's take a gander at some miscellaneous traits. When it comes to running speed, Mario is a little bit faster than Luigi. But Luigi beats out Mario in regards to their jumping abilities, even though Mario has a wall jump, which Luigi lacks. As for their weight, well, Luigi is a tiny bit lighter, but it's barely noticeable. However, Luigi's falling speed and air movement speed are quite a bit slower than Mario, making him have a floatier feel. Also, Luigi can crawl, which Mario is incapable of doing. That's a little weird, right? Luigi can crawl, but Mario can't?
Come on, Mario! If we just go through this tunnel, we can escape Fury Bowser!
Oh, Luigi, you have to go on it without me.
What? Why?
It's because I don't know how to crawl.
Wait, so you cannot do backflips and shoot fireballs, but you can't crawl?
Oh wait, I just remembered. Metroid taught me how to crawl.
Mario!
Okay, let's dive into their standard moves. Their neutral attacks have different animations at the end, but the move itself is still about the same. There isn't a lot to say here. Something similar could be said of their forward tilts. The differences are very minor, so they feel about the same. The first big difference comes in their down tilt, which are different moves. Mario sweeps his leg, which launches the opponent straight up. Luigi does a quick poke with his leg, which nudges the opponent backwards. It may seem more limited than Mario's move, which can be a combo starter, but Luigi can spam his attack a lot faster than Mario's, so it's a decent option for shield pressure. Their up tilts are animated a little differently, but they operate very similarly. Both attacks can be comboed into themselves or a variety of other attacks. It's worth noting that Mario's move has a slightly higher reach, while Luigi's does more damage. Next, their dash attacks, which are completely different moves. Mario slides across the ground to attack with a single blow, but Luigi flails his arms around to unleash a multi-hit attack. Luigi's move does more damage if you land every hit, but since it has a longer duration, it's also easier to punish if you whiff. That's it for their standard moves, so let's quickly go over their smash attacks. Their forward smashes are totally different. Mario creates a small fiery explosion in front of him, which has a sweet spot right inside the fire. When connecting at Mario's arm, it's a bit weaker. Luigi simply thrusts his arm forward, which doesn't have a sweet spot like Mario's attack. Mario's move is the more powerful one between the two, at least when getting that glorious sweet spot. Moving forward, their down smashes look the same but have a few unique traits. First is how they deal damage. Mario's move is stronger on the back side of the attack. As for Luigi, the side the opponent is on doesn't matter, and instead he has a sweet spot that deals more damage if the opponent is essentially right up against him. The way the knockback works is a little different as well. Mario's attack has a horizontal trajectory, but Luigi's is far more vertical. And finally, their up smash, which is another samey move with a couple differences. Once again, the launch path is different. Mario sends the opponent pretty much straight upward, but Luigi's has more of an angle to it, as well as having stronger knockback. Weirdly, Luigi has a unique sour spot for this move, which occurs if the opponent is too close to Luigi when the attack connects. That's a wrap on their smash attacks, so now let's talk about their air moves. Their neutral airs are the same move, but you guessed it, there are still a couple differences. Mario's attack launches horizontally, while Luigi's boops the opponent straight upward. Luigi's attack is also more powerful overall. Their forward airs are completely unique. Mario swings forward with his fist, which acts as a powerful meteor smash when timed correctly. Luigi just swats the enemy with, a karate chop? It's not a meteor smash, but it's still pretty decent for smacking opponents away from the ledge.
Luigi, did you learn karate?
Oh, I learned from Ryu!
Oh, what the shell is a Ryu?
Their back airs have very minor differences, relating mainly to their attack power. Luigi has a unique sweet spot right at his feet that causes it to deal some extra damage. Now we have yet another wholly unique move, their down airs. Mario quickly spins around like a tornado, creating a multi-hit attack that deals a fair amount of damage. Luigi does a corkscrew kick that works as a meteor smash when timed just right. It can be hard to pull off since the timing for the meteor smash is very precise, but seeing as the end lag is extremely low, it's not exactly a risky move. Their up airs have slightly different animations, but the concept is still the same. The main difference here is, once again, how the attack launches the opponent. Mario's sends the opponent straight upward, which makes it a great combo tool. Luigi's attack can also be useful for combos at low percentages, but since it has a more horizontal trajectory, it's not as easy to combo as Mario's variation. Well, that's all for their air attacks, so it's finally time to talk about their special moves. First up is their neutral special, and right off the bat there's a lot to talk about. Both characters may be shooting fireballs, but the behavior of these attacks differ very heavily. Mario's fireballs bounce across the ground, while Luigi's simply float straight forward. The impact of this difference is seen more when shooting the fireballs in the air. Mario's will fall to the ground, but Luigi's will simply continue to float mid-air. Also, Mario's fireballs get a little more distance than Luigi's. To make up for this, Luigi has less end lag on his variation, meaning he can spam them a little faster. Both versions of this move share the same damage properties. Essentially, the fireball does higher damage if it hits the opponent very soon after being shot out, with a late hit dealing a little less damage. Overall, Luigi's fireballs deal more damage. Next up is their side special, and they're not alike in any way. Mario uses a cape that can reflect projectiles, or spin opponents around, which can actually be pretty effective at ruining your foe's chances of recovery. Meanwhile, Luigi is doing weird stuff again, this time shooting himself off like a rocket. You can charge up the attack, and the longer you charge it, the more powerful it'll be, while also giving it more distance. It's worth mentioning that this is a great move to aid Luigi's recovery, which Mario's cape doesn't really do, but it will briefly stall his mid-air movement, which I guess you could use to confuse your opponent. Luigi's missile attack also has a chance to misfire, which supercharges it to give it more speed and power, making it a terrifying KO attack, but you're relying solely on RNG for it to happen. Now onto their down specials, which are also nothing alike. Mario uses the Flood, and the main purpose of this move is to push your opponents away from the stage so they can't get back. Timing is key here. Luigi's down special looks very familiar. Oh yeah, Mario's down air. So it's not exactly the same as that move. Obviously, Luigi's attack can be used while on the ground, and it also has a wind box that'll suck in nearby opponents. Not to mention having invincibility frames during the beginning of the move. And finally, their up specials. These may appear to be similar on the surface, but they are practically different moves. The first big difference is their trajectory. Mario jumps at an angle, but Luigi shoots straight up. Their attack properties are also very different. Mario's move is a multi-hit and, honestly, pretty useful as a combo extender. But Luigi's move is only a single hit, which can be both a blessing and a curse. If you land the move right at the start, it's an incredibly quick and powerful KO tool, dispensing foes at very early percentages. When landing this sweet spot in the air, its strength is not nearly as impressive. But if you're landing a late hit, it's just one incredibly weak dink that'll likely lead to Luigi being punished, as the end lag for this move is pretty long. In terms of vertical distance gained from each move, they seem to be about equal. But since Mario's move also grants him some horizontal distance, it's often seen as being better fitted for recovery, while Luigi's is far more effective at getting KOs. That about does it for their special moves, but there are still a few more tidbits before we finish. Let's look at their grabs. Mario has a very standard grab range, but Luigi has a tether grab, which he performs by shooting a plunger from the poltergust, yanking opponents in from a long distance. This gives him different throws, and he can also shoot out his plunger in the air, which is essentially an extra projectile. Man, that's a lot of wasted plungers. Where does he even get those?
Luigi!
What is it, Mario?
Where are all of the plungers? I don't know. Have you been shoving them in the vacuum again?
No?
I'm on to you,
Anyway, moving on. I don't typically talk about taunts in these videos, but Luigi is a special case. He has a unique characteristic with his down taunt where it'll spike opponents if they're within range of his tiny kick. It's highly unlikely you'll pull this off in the heat of battle, but it's a nice little touch either way. Ending things off are their final smash attacks, with both characters having their own unique take. Mario shoots a giant swirling fireball that can carry opponents off to their death, and Luigi uses his poltergust to suck up opponents and then blast them off to the great beyond. He can even suck in multiple enemies with his final smash. I'd say Luigi's attack is the much better option here, since Mario's is so easy to dodge.
Mamma mia, people are always making fun of me final smash. It can't be that bad. Son of a peach! My final smash sucks!
And that should do it. I can understand where the half-clone argument comes from for Luigi, since many of his moves still resemble Mario's, but majority of those attacks work so differently that I think he stands well enough on his own, and it helps that he also has so many unique attacks mixed in. Both of these characters have very different playstyles due to all of the differences I mentioned, so while I wish Luigi was even more unique, I think it's fine as is. So which character do you prefer? I'm more of a Luigi guy myself. Leave your thoughts in the comments below and don't forget to be kind to each other. You can also find all of my social links like Twitter and Twitch in the info box below. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you have a fantastic day and I'll see you again soon. Catch you later.